Hello everybody, welcome back to the Aftermath. Today we're going to be talking about the Boston Red Sox trading Mookie Betts. Now, there have been a lot, and I mean a lot, of different trade talks and different predictions on YouTube. Draft Night Mark did one. A lot of MLB YouTubers did a prediction on where Mookie Betts would land, and a lot of them did pick LA. It was definitely probably going to be a California team, like the Padres or the Dodgers would have been my two guesses. But of course, he did go to the Dodgers. I think that that's amazing for the Dodgers, and I did think that the Boston Red Sox are trying to save a lot of money. I don't know why. David Price was involved in the trade as well, but he did have a lot of money involved in his contract. But they're still paying half of it, and LA is paying the other half. So it's a pretty good deal for both teams, I think. I think the Boston Red Sox only got a good deal because they were saving so much money on this deal. Mookie Betts next season probably would have wanted a ton of money. But it's Mookie Betts. You don't get very many opportunities to have a player like Mookie Betts, who has some young talent. It'll just do you well over the course of the season. Now, they are definitely a good team, winning their World Series in 2018. But now I think they're stepping it back a little bit and trying to get some money back, just to start getting in the green again. But they are getting a pretty good prospect out of this in Alex Verdugo, which was at the time a pretty big deal. It still is a pretty big deal. I think that changed the predictions of everybody's MLB seasons a lot. In my last video, I talked about MLB predictions, but I do think the Dodgers will win the World Series because they just signed Mookie Betts. So that is a massive, massive, massive deal. So I think that's crazy. Now, with that being said, I do want to hop into some stats now. First, we're going to be talking about what Boston's getting out of this. Boston are going to be getting Alex Verdugo, of course. They're going to be getting another prospect as well. So they are getting quite a bit out of this deal. So I think that is good. They are saving tons of money with this. I think they should have traded David Price separately. I don't think they should have traded David Price with Mookie Betts just for Alex Verdugo. I think that they should have tried to get a different prospect somewhere else who would have been better than that other prospect that they did get from the Dodgers. So I think that's my personal opinion on this. I think they should have held on to him just a little bit longer. And maybe instead of paying half the contract, they pay maybe 25%, let the other team pay 75%. I mean, I think that would be more reasonable for them, just in their case of trying to save money. But besides that, I think it was a great deal. The Twins were in on this as well, trading away one of their prospects and a 67th draft pick for this upcoming draft. So that's going to be good for the Dodgers, getting probably another star prospect out of that. The Twins also traded away some cash, but in return they got Kenta Maeda and another prospect. So phenomenal trading being done, which is phenomenal. I like seeing that, especially during this off season. Is phenomenal. Nice job to those three teams. Now, there was going to be a fifth team involved in this, in that being the Angels. The Angels did want Jock Peterson, which would make a lot of sense. Their outfield would have been so good with just Jock Peterson and Mike Trout. Just those two alone would make an amazing outfield. And then, not to mention having Anthony Rendon. And I would have really, really liked to see this because this would have been a big deal for the Angels. And having Cole Calhoun being gone, that would have made so much sense. But the other day, the Angels backed out of it and did not want to be involved with it anymore, which is too bad because that would have been a great deal for them. So that's too bad. But with that being said, now we're going to hop into the stats. First, we're going to talk about Alex Verdugo's stats. He was a phenomenal player for the Dodgers last season, having 343 at-bats, 43 runs, 101 hits, 44 RBIs, 26 base on balls, 12 homers, 49 strikeouts, a .294 average with a .342 on base percentage. Now, this is pretty good. I mean, Alex Verdugo is a player who Boston is going to be seeing more frequently now. I think Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Alex Verdugo is a phenomenal outfield. I think that Alex Verdugo is more of a hitting player than he is defensive, but he definitely falls under a good both of those. Now, getting rid of Mookie Betts does come with a lot. Of course, he would have wanted a lot more money next season. He would have become a free agent in 2019, but that's just not how it ended up going down. So I think that Alex Verdugo was a good pickup for the Dodgers, the Red Sox, but I do think that it came at a massive cost, and I do think they should have held on to David Price for maybe a pitching prospect. Someone up there a little bit, or maybe trade them to the Rays, but the Rays do have a smaller budget, so that would not make too much sense. So now we're going to be hopping into what LA got. LA got David Price, of course, and Mookie Betts, of course, the main piece of this entire trade. Now, David Price had 107.1 innings last season with 109 hits, 128 strikeouts, 32 base on balls, 15 home runs, and a 4.28 ERA. Now, David Price is a phenomenal player, but that does come at a cost of him being 34 years old. So this is probably going to be the last team that he's going to be on. He's a phenomenal player. He's shown that he can still be a good player at the age of 34. The earned run average is not good. If he can bring that down just a bit to maybe a 3, then that's pretty good. But 15 home runs, phenomenal. 32 base on balls, phenomenal. 128 strikeouts, amazing. 109 hits, that's really good. He's given up a hit an inning, or more than a hit an inning, which is okay, I guess. I mean, that's not great at all, but yeah, it's fine, I think, but he's good. So that is David Price's stats. I do think that David Price is going to start decreasing in value as he gets older. I think that the contract that the Boston Red Sox signed to was not a great contract. I think that they should have brought the money down a lot. I think that would have made a lot more sense, and just overall would have been a better trade for them, and that would have been amazing. So now we're going to be hopping into probably the biggest trade of this offseason, and the biggest traded player this offseason in Mookie Betts. Now, Mookie Betts had 597 at-bats, 135 runs, 176 hits, 80 RBIs, 97 base on balls, 29 homers, 101 strikeouts, a .295 average, and a .391 on base percentage. Now, Mookie Betts is a phenomenal player. He is so good. His stats really just talk for themselves. I think Mookie Betts and Alex Verdugo did have very similar stats in that of just their at-bats and their average and stuff, and their on-base percentage as well. But Mookie Betts does have more home runs and a little bit higher on-base percentage, but that is just what Mookie Betts does, and Alex Verdugo is still coming in to be he's still, I consider, a prospect, and not yet like the player you can has full potential. Mookie Betts is a great player. I'm really excited to see how he's going to do with with LA. And LA, I think, are going to be an amazing team this year, if they haven't already been amazing this offseason. Now, your outfield would either consist of Jock Peterson or A.J. Pollock, one of those two, I think. It might be Jock, it might be A.J. I can see either one of them being in there. Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts. Now, you could always put Bellinger at first base, which would make a lot of sense. So that would be really good. and then you'd have just a bunch of young talent and a bunch of little bit older talent. But Clayton Kershaw is always going to be amazing for you. Walker Buehler is always going to be amazing for you. And Will Smith has shown that he can be an amazing player. So that's really good. And this team's looking like they're going to be phenomenal. Alright, that's going to be all for today's video. If you did like it, please hit the like button. If you enjoy all my videos, please subscribe. That's all for today. See ya. Bye.